Hey guys, welcome to ANX Gamecast, level 122. I'm Unbiased Ann, I'm here with Genesis and Mike B. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's happening?
What's happening? I don't know.
How's it going?
I was going. Was hungry. Ordered some food. It got canceled. Flat tire. So I ordered some more food. It got here. I scarfed it down. Now I ate too fast.
No, your stomach hurts.
And you didn't even have to worry about it being cold either.
No, it was fresh. Fresh, but I ate too fast.
All right, well, what are you excited to talk about?
Mike?
I'm actually excited to talk about.
I'm excited to talk about your name. Actually, but
Can you say it again? How you say it?
your name. But I'm like yokai, like
Yokai.
yeah, but your name.
Just take off the whole your.
Yeah,
Or.
Yeah, yo. But I'm really excited to talk about it in conjunction with Batman Year One and how it's all linked together. It's not really, but what you got?
I'm excited to talk about your name also.
Your name also?
As
so it's
well.
like part two?
Yes.
Your name too.
Yes.
I'm just making okay. So anyway, let me do the social media thing, but I got a PSA for everybody out there that's listening. So everybody who's listening audio only, shout out. Remember, there's a video version of this on YouTube under AVersion TV. I am going to try to put the link down in the description. I don't know where you're listening, but wherever you're listening, make sure to follow. And I don't know how the link is going to come up, but put the link to YouTube down in the description for YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, the PSA is out for all of you on YouTube. If you're watching this and like the video, go ahead and get the thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell. What I'm going to start doing, because the podcasts are long, and for anybody clicking on this thinking this is a quick 10-minute how-to video, it's not. Like it's a full review of anime and games and things of that nature. So, down in the description, chapters. You don't care nothing about Batman Year One?
Then just find out where the chapter starts if you want to read.
Yeah.
Or not read.
What?
Like a book.
I'm going to read it.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I mean.
Okay. So chapters are going to be down in the description. Feel free to skip ahead. And make sure to follow us on all social media outlets at ANX Gamecast. Y'all ready for round one?
Yes.
Round one.
Current anime. Mike B, what you got?
Mike B.
So I'm not watching any anime right now.
That's blasphemy. This 2 times in a row now.
Oh, man, it's been a minute, man. But what I am watching, I'm watching some Sentai.
Hentai?
Oh, we had a discussion about this.
I mean,
we already went over this.
I guess I mean this is a family friendly show, so you can't get into the details of your hentai. But
Sentai.
But if you're watching it, I mean, it is what it is.
Sentai.
You watch it for the storyline, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
He reads it for the
pure
articles.
story.
Yeah.
Yeah, the articles. There's a ton of articles. But yeah, so right now I'm actually watching Kamen Rider 01, and it's actually pretty good. I like it.
What's it about?
What is that?
So Kamen Rider, like I think I talked about it one time before. It's actually a part of the Toku series, you know, with Power Rangers and stuff, the Japanese version of it.
Okay.
So
Go.
yeah, Henshin Go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Like-
basically that's actually what Beautiful Joe is. He's part of Sentai series. But you know, Kamen Rider is more of a, rather than having a team, there's more of it's just one rider or one hero who can henshin or transform.
Man, he ain't
But it's pretty good though. I like it. You know, it has a different type of style.
Solo Dolo Ranger.
Yeah, basically. But usually they have like a second rider. They usually always have a second one that pops up there. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually love the story. You know, I love the look of the suits. The suits are very beautiful.
Look at the flick of the wrist.
Look at the flick of the wrist. But you know, the thing is actually that his wrist also glows in the dark.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah,
His
like,
wrist?
and when I mean his wrist, his whole body, like the whole suit, actually glows in the dark.
Okay.
So that's a neat little feature they added in there because
So by wrist, I mean whole body.
yeah,
Look
yeah,
at the flick of
exactly.
the, so they still have a. We got
Oh,
some of that. We
like-
got some of that going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, I remember a little something from
So-
Absolutely.
25 years ago.
So, you know, they have to sell their toys. So what they have is they have like these keys that actually go into the belt that they have itself. So what you do, one of mine that I like is from the Short Riser. There's a character, he's the second rider. What you do is you take the key, you hit the button on the key and it'll say bullets like that. Then you actually put it into the henshin device and it will actually say Kamen Rider. And then once you pull the trigger, which I actually own this toy. Apparently, I had to go get it. It will actually fire off, which I need to bring it on and show you guys.
Yeah, do that. And I also need you to write like a full like essay on this, because I'm gonna need you to write the description for the show, because I don't know what you're talking about. So,
so submit your essay.
Oh yeah,
by end of day
so
tomorrow.
all the people searching for this can find it, because I'm gonna get it all wrong.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna just put Go Power Rangers.
Well, I don't want to spoil anything. It's super new right now. So I mean, actually, it's ending, but I want people to go check it out. Check out the whole.
I mean, this whole thing where you got to select what attack you want, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah.
And then you gotta. I mean, that looked like old school Star Trek when they had to pull the communicator out the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that seemed like a good way to die real quick, because you got to do so much to get going. But maybe they're just super fast with it though, right?
They don't have a fancy name for their stuff. It's like, I'm just gonna use kill. Okay.
Kill shot.
Yeah.
Kill shot. Okay. So what you got? I'm gonna go ahead and let you go.
Dragon Ball Z.
Okay.
You already know that's all I watch.
Yeah.
Let's see. Goku finally arrived.
Goku here.
Yeah.
Nice.
He fought Nappy.
Mm-hmm.
He sent Gohan and Piccolo on their way. Basically, like,
Okay.
right, go on back.
Okay.
And broke Nappy's back. Basically.
Don't call him Nappy.
Nappa.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You started it, and then I'm like picking it up.
I didn't even realize. I'm like, oh yeah, that's his name. Mm.
I'm very impressionable. Okay, he starts saying things, and I start repeating them. So he broke Nappa's back,
I remember that scene.
and
The one where he had his hand up like this.
Like a pizza.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I feel like that was it.
No, there was something like you've been waiting on for like 5 episodes, and they finally did it, and now you're like, that's all that happened.
I don't remember.
What was the power level of Goku?
Oh yeah, over 9,000.
Nice.
Okay, so earlier, like in one of the last episodes, Vegeta was like, I sense something,
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not Vegeta yet, I don't think, but that guy, or maybe it is Vegeta, whatever.
Why do you keep saying it's not Vegeta yet?
Because it's not the Vegeta.
They said Vegeta like 50 million times.
But it's not the Vegeta that I know. I don't know who this person is.
There's only been like one episode where they didn't say it was Vegeta.
I'm just saying, I don't know who this person is, okay?
Some mysterious person.
Until he turns into the Vegeta I know, then I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Oh, the one that cooks for beers all day? Man, get out of here with that.
The one who's on Goku's side, okay? Anyway, so anyway, he was like, I sense a power. I sense something. And I think he said something, and he was like 8,000, or he said something. I was like, oh, dang. I thought he was going to say over 9,000. We'll skip to this last episode that we watched. He goes, it's over 9,000. I was like, oh my gosh.
Actually said it.
Yeah. And broke the scouter.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then he killed Nappa. I gotta have. I gotta
Did
make
he
her
kill
take,
him?
I gotta have her take better notes.
Oh, because Vegeta. That's right. Vegeta kicked him off, like basically, and sent him off into the air.
And then shot him.
She really just like the arrival when he came there. And he just put hands on Nappa and then just, yeah, that's right. Get out of here.
I feel like everything just takes so long. I think sometimes I'm just like,
these people are fighting for their lives.
I know, but I'm like,
You want them to get to it.
Yeah, I'm like, let's just get to it.
What about all the scenes back at...
Gohan was getting on my nerves in this episode, too.
Just this episode?
Daddy.
Just the whole saga.
I know he's a little kid, but he's so whiny when he talks.
He's only
bad.
Like 4.
I know, but they just made him so whiny.
I know.
You had a whole year worth of tough training in the desert with Piccolo.
He's basically a baby.
A baby that's stronger than everybody on Earth right now except for Goku.
He doesn't know how to control that.
It don't matter.
You got like scary people like Vegeta. Hey kid, want to go travel in the stars with me? Actually, I'll probably do
But
that.
you know what? There's a lot of 4-year-olds that are annoying. So it's not like he's the only one.
Exactly.
I mean,
There's a lot who's not. There's a lot who just sit there and don't say nothing. Like, I'd rather him just do that.
Daddy.
Yeah, I'd rather him just get blown to smithereens.
Well, I don't know about all that.
That is sad.
Everybody else is dead. Trying to protect him. Trying to protect Ryan.
But now, oh yeah.
Hey.
But now I'm really curious as to what's going to happen with Piccolo and Kami because they disappeared. Kami disappeared. Piccolo died. And so now the Dragon Balls are gone. So now I'm just like, what's going to happen? What are they going to do?
So speaking of that, I know Terrence has a problem with Mr. Popo on the show. I don't think he's come right out and said it on this show. But the racial stuff that he talks about in Dragon Ball has to do with Mr. Popo, I believe. I think people probably have more problem with the English dub of this because it kind of gave him an African accent.
What? Really?
Yeah. So that's just my take on it now that I think about it. Because a lot of people before was like, oh, he's black with big lips, but you don't even know if he's depicting an African American person. He could be an alien, just like Kami.
Right, you can't really tell.
But then when you get the black person
yeah.
with the big lips and then kind of give him a kind of African accent, it's like, oh, that's kind of. So you really got less problem with Dragon Ball Z and more problem with people who dubbed it.
He's a legend. He's a genie.
There you go.
It's like I think in the original he didn't even talk. I don't even think.
No.
I don't think he actually talked in the original.
No.
That I don't remember him talking. I just remember him just being silent.
Silent Popo.
I mean, I like Mr. Popo because nobody messes with Mr. Popo.
Okay. So my anime, which I said I was gonna start watching because I hate trying to do this as a hashtag, but is it wrong to pick up girls in a dungeon? I'm kind of ready for this. I don't know how many seasons there are, but I'm really ready for this season to be over. I think I'm on episode 12 or something. So they decided they got into a party.
Okay.
And they decided to try to go to the middle floors.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was that other party that got in trouble. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of led
Like,
the
uh-huh.
monsters. He's like, yeah, I remember hentai.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sitting there.
Yeah. Hestia.
That one chick? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there she is right there.
What? No.
Well, right, like literally right there on the screen.
On the screen. What?
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh, okay. So anyway,
Sorry.
so there was that other party
Yes.
that was being chased because they were going to get killed, and it led the monsters to where Bell and his party was, even though they were already fighting monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So now you in double trouble, and they just ran off.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at. So they decided to go deeper into the dungeon
Mm-hmm.
so they could be at that little safe zone and get healed up, and then that's where I'm at.
Okay. Cool.
So it's just like I said, not cool. It's just kind of just like
But it's something.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
Is
just,
there anything pretty decent at least? Like any animation?
you saw it?
It's been a minute.
No,
He's
I'm
not-
just saying.
I mean, the graphics, the voiceovers are good, and I'm obviously watching the English version, and the graphics are good for the most part.
Okay.
Like that's what made me want to watch it. Like you could tell by graphics on the back of a box or a thumbnail on what type of quality the anime would be.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, okay, this would be some sort of quality. I just didn't know it was going to be so much fan service.
Oh yeah.
So if you take the fan service out and maybe replace that with, I don't know, substance of some sort, then this might be a really dope anime. But so far it's just average.
I see.
So that's what I'm still watching while I'm on the tread.
Okay. All right.
That's the thing. I can't keep watching stuff that I want unbiased hand to watch while I'm on the tread, because then I got to get off the treadmill and then she got to watch it too. And then I just watched it.
And you got to rewatch it.
And I got to rewatch it.
And you're already rewatching Dragon Ball Z.
Right. Which is,
Everybody's watching Dragon Ball Z, right?
no. So anyway, y'all ready for round 2?
Yes.
Round 2.
All right, our conversation from today. So we had a long 2-hour debate the other day while we were eating. What were we eating?
Oh, nachos.
That's nacho cheese.
Yeah.
And then we started debating about DC and Marvel turning to King of Fighters and blah, 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 versus Street Fighter. But there was one point that was brought up that I wanted to kind of talk about on the show.
Mhm.
So the topic of today's conversation is, why are we even talking about American animation? Maybe Mike can explain it to me, because I tried to watch Batman Year One movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched a good, 10, 15 minutes of it, and then I promptly fell asleep, because it really wasn't that good. The reason I brought up Year One is because we kept talking about Marvel, DC animation being better than Marvel's animation.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept saying nobody cares about any of that altogether. Anime Master Race, right?
That's PC.
Yeah, that's PC.
Yeah.
But so then we watched this movie, Your Name, or Your Name, as I like to call it. And then it just reminded me again, it's like, this is why I switched over to anime. The two last things that I watched, of anime and American made animation, it's like goodness, this it doesn't even compare.
What about Into the Spider-Verse?
Yeah, that was good. I mean, I gave that movie like a 10.
Yeah.
But that I feel like that's the exception and not the rule.
Yeah. I mean, agreed.
I mean,
well, it's not very common to have an animated movie anyway.
No, I mean that was big.
So,
that was big budget, regardless,
yeah.
and they put a lot of effort into it. But generally speaking, I feel like that's more the exception and not the rule. I don't really feel like Your Name is the exception. I feel like there's a ton of great anime movies out there. I don't feel like there's a ton of great American made animation, anything as far as TV shows or movies. I don't feel like there's anything great out there, and I stopped watching it 20 plus years ago. And now that I go back and watch something newer, it's like I remember why I stopped watching this. So Mike B, you like this? You like the American animation? I'm trying to figure out why. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Like, is it you like it because it's good, or you like it because you got your favorite characters in there? So you can watch all the anime you want. Superman will never be in there. Batman will never be in there. You know what I'm saying? So is it like, do you like it because it's actually good quality animation and story and voiceovers, or do you like it because it got Batman, Superman in it?
Both. Yeah, both.
It's good animation.
Good animation, and it's also good, also good characters and stuff that I like to see too. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you have different styles of animation where, I mean, it just really depends on your preference.
I don't think it depends on it. I think that's what we started to talk about. That's how we got into that conversation, talking about preference and what do you prefer. I can't imagine that anyone prefers this style of animation that I saw in Batman Year One. I can't imagine that somebody would look at that and then look at something like Your Name and be like, nah, I prefer the Batman Year One. Like I can't see anybody saying that ever in life.
Well, I mean, you gotta see it like this. If you're going for somebody who's like, they want more of a comic bookish feel, or they want something that's not too elaborate, they may want to go for that. I mean,
so tell me this, true or false? The Superman and the Batman animated series from the 90s, I don't feel like the Batman Year One that I saw was that much better as terms of graphics from those. It's the same kind of style. And I don't feel like the graphics, generally speaking, are that much better. I wouldn't think that Year One was made 20 plus years after that. Is that fair? Is that a fair assessment?
I mean,
it's because there's not a whole lot of detail and stuff to that animation. So that it's kind of the same.
I mean, like, it just boils down to like what you're looking for. I mean, there are some animations where I'll say like, yeah, it does look better. Like one obviously looks like more better than the other one because they either had a better budget or it's just the type of style that it is. But in all honesty, it really just boils down to the story and like, the fluidity of like how the characters move or how they did it. Because I mean, if you can portray a story, if you can portray the story right, then and still get immersed in how it looks, I mean, it really doesn't matter if it looks phenomenal or not.
So what you're telling me? So this is what I'm getting from this, and you can jump in anytime.
I was about to say something, but you go ahead.
So this is what I'm getting from what you're saying. It sounds less like there's a preference about art style, and there's more about a preference of, I enjoy a good story, and if it has a good story, then that's all I'm concerned about.
I mean, because not necessarily. That's not really what I'm getting at. I mean, like, you do want something that is appealing that will keep
because
you
the Batman Year One that I saw
in.
was not appealing graphically. Was not appealing at all. Like it just
but
it was just lacking.
Yeah, but the thing is though, let's say like if you just didn't like Batman Year One, then you can go to like either Batman, the one that had Jason Todd in there.
This is what I was saying to Ray. If the thing that's in front of me is Batman Year One, I don't know why they were showing it on Cartoon Network. That's what I do. I'll get in bed Saturday night. And there's two channels. I'm assuming it's like that for everybody. There's two Cartoon Network channels. One is like the normal and one is like the West Coast because of the time difference. So here in Texas, shout out, we got anime on until 5 o'clock in the morning on Toonami at night if you watch the correct So I got into bed looking for some anime, and there was no anime. There hadn't been anime on Cartoon Network on Saturdays for like 2 or 3 weeks straight.
Mm-hmm.
But what they were showing Batman Year One. So I was like, okay, I'll try it out. And I wouldn't, after seeing that, I wouldn't want to go try another Batman. You see what I'm saying? Like it threw me off so much where I was like, I can't watch this no more. Like I wouldn't even want to go try another one. That's what I kept trying to tell Raymond. It's like, well, if I got something better over here, Your Name, I'd rather go find something else made by the people that made Your Name. Well, versus seeing something bad and be like, I wonder if there's anything better out there that's coming from the DC universe. So it's like, nah, I just push to the side.
Well, see, that's the thing about it though. Like you've already explained it yourself to yourself, is that you have a preference for anime. So if you don't really have a preference,
I got a preference for better animation.
You said that you went into animation because you didn't like American style animation.
Not because I didn't like it. I did like it, and then I saw something better. And so this is better. It's a better quality.
You go for just what is better. But the thing is, though, that doesn't mean
I go for better story. I go for better voice acting. I go for better graphics.
But it doesn't go. That does not mean that what you're watching is garbage. Because I mean, here's my thing about it. Like, even if once we go into Your Name and we talk about it, just because that animation was good, does that mean that any other animation underneath it is bad? Then no. It could be still good.
No, but I mean, what I'm saying is it's not even close. The animation that I saw in Your Name and the animation I saw in Batman Year One, not even close. Like it's not even close.
But are we only talking about like Marvel, DC type stuff? Because what about like Disney and Pixar movies and stuff like that?
Disney. When's the last time Disney made an actual full length like animation movie?
What about Moana?
They stopped once they start kind of making
the 3D stuff
because it just brought in more
and it's
stuff.
cheaper.
Yeah,
it's cheaper. And what they did when it got cheaper was they start bringing in the voice actors. So I got a cheaper animation on screen. Now I can pay The Rock to come be a voiceover.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying though, even like older stuff, even like older Disney stuff. I mean. I think they have some really good stuff. I mean, I like anime too, but they're just very different. Or are you only talking about Sunday morning cartoons? Like, I don't know what you're.
Well, that's what it reminded me of. That's what Batman Year One reminded me of. It's just like a PG-13 version of like Saturday morning Batman. Like, because they were kind of cussing and stuff. It was kind of more adult themed from what I got from it.
I just think they're very different, and I can see where somebody, even if it's like it may not have the same type of graphics as anime, you could still like American animation more or the same. And some people are not.
I'm just trying to figure out how, because my brain doesn't work that way. If it's something that's clearly inferior, how can I like it the same as far as the animation goes? Like, my brain just doesn't work that way.
Because I think not everybody's focused on the animation the way you are.
But if we're specifically talking about the animation.
Yeah, but that people are probably not deciding whether they're going to watch something or not purely based on animation.
and I didn't judge Batman Year One purely on the animation. Everything to me was subpar. There was nothing really good about anything that I saw from it. The animation itself, with it being a newer movie, just really caught my attention because it's like I was expecting something way better than this, and this is just like not good at all. So
but you can't put your whole judgment and decision off of one movie. I'll just say go look at something like Batman Under the Red Hood.
But again, this is what I told Raymond. Batman Under the Red Hood. Is that what it's called? Was not in whatever it was called.
Yeah,
it's not right here readily available in my face. This was put in my face, and it wasn't good. And it would not make me want to go seek out anything else, like
any other American animation.
No, well, more specific to DC. I'm not trying to bash DC, but it was a DC animation, so I definitely would not go seek out DC animation. Now that I'm curious about where things are right now, the current state, even though Year One is a couple of years old, but so is Your Name. I would go check out something Marvel. I'd come on here and bash that if it was trash too. But it's just, it wouldn't make me want to go. Like, that's the opposite reaction.
Well,
like, it's like, oh, this is bad. I'm gonna go look for something else. It's like, no, I'm gonna just go back to what I already know is better.
No, because you've seen anime where you were like, no, I don't like that. So you looked for a different anime. You weren't just like, okay, I'm not going to do anime because I don't like this one that I found that wasn't good.
Yeah, but anime has not been in a position, which DC kind of has, and Marvel has with their animation as well, along with comic books, where it got to a point where every time I saw it, it was bad. Like every single time. So there hasn't been like a great experience where it's like, okay, I'll give it another try. This was just a miss. It's just like every time I watch it, it's like I'm wasting my time. I could be watching Your Name.
I mean,
or something better.
I just think I really do actually kind of agree with Mike on this one. I do think it boils down to preference. I think there's things that are important to you, and I think you generally prefer anime, just the culture. You seem to like just be into anime.
The culture it's a different culture, but there's plenty of animes we watch where the culture is not that much different than.
Yeah, agreed.
It's just like a normal like city life.
Agreed. I just think I don't know. I can see somebody liking both American and anime. I can see people.
Well, here's the thing though. So I'm gonna let you see it then. I'm gonna let you watch it.
No, but you're talking about one. You're talking about one. I thought you were asking the question of why do you prefer American animation?
No, it's not prefer. I forget that word.
Or like
prefer.
or whatever.
Yeah, like why is it good? Like why? And the main point is why are we even talking about it? Because to me, it's so inferior. Like it shouldn't even be in the same breath or on the radar.
Well, I mean,
for me,
you can bring it up in terms of like films or so. You have old films that don't even compare to the graphics or power of what they have nowadays. But if you go back, you may see like a really iconic film or something that is so good to where it's just iconic. It's legendary. It's
but he doesn't care.
Tell him.
But see, that's the thing.
But Mike knows.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care because what's important to him is
overall
like,
quality,
cinematography,
graphics, the quality of the sound, the like everything.
And a lot of people are not like that. That they like movies based on the story, even if it's black and white.
So I'm not saying Mike B does this, but a lot of times when I talk to people, I like that about that kind of stuff. I'm not saying Mike B does it, but they're usually grading on the curve and they give a bunch of stuff a pass, and they're like, "Well, you kind of did it earlier. You kind of giving the graphics the pass because the story was so good." But me, I'm like, I want the good story and some good graphics. Like, just imagine how good Batman Year One would be if it has some like even better graphics.
Yeah, but
like it would be like this would be like real dope.
I mean, here's the thing about it. Yeah, it could look really good right now and be like, oh yeah, that's awesome. But then let's say like years down or later, the graphics aren't up to par, and then it's not like the new cool thing that's out. Therefore, whatever the newer thing is that makes this looks like crap now. Does that mean that this is bad now? No, it's not bad. Some people love.
Well, I would say it is bad now. Like if you compare Final Fantasy, both the Final Fantasy 7s. So you're trying to say you play Final Fantasy 7 Remake? Have you started it yet?
No.
Well, I'm gonna come over there and get you. No. The Final Fantasy 7 Remake, if you look at those graphics and then go back and look at the original Final Fantasy 7 graphics, in comparison, yes, they are bad. At the time, they weren't bad, but look at them now. Like I would classify that as bad graphics in comparison.
You know what I mean? It just depends on how you look at it, man. Because I mean, like you said, personally for you, I think you have a preference. What your preference is more anime style because you like the style. No,
my preference is quality shows and movies, like quality graphic, like everything. Like I don't have one preference. Like I'm only looking for good graphics. Like
well, then therefore,
the preference is the quality overall, like the overall thing that's being submitted to me to be high quality across the board.
Well, then therefore, I'll just say go look at a different movie, then something of a higher quality, and then go for it for that. There are different studios or different styles. Because I mean,
but that's what I said.
In all honesty, here's my thing about it. Even for animation, Your Name is very beautiful. It's really good, right? Which we're going to go into.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, is that like there's a creator, Satoshi Kon. I love him. One of my most favorite people.
Comic-Con?
No, not Comic-Con.
You don't like Comic-Con?
Comic-Con is all right. It's
Don't get him off track.
They got DC there.
I mean, I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's stay focused.
They got DC there. You can get autograph.
But the thing is that like for Satoshi Kon's work, I mean, for his stuff, his animation isn't on the same level of like what we're going to talk about in Your Name. But the thing is though, is that the animation that just how it looks, I wouldn't say just how it looks. I'll just say how he was able to take the work of it and actually make it into an experience. Like then you get pulled away from the whole look of it. You get pulled into the story of it to where you're not looking at it as, oh, this is just beautiful. No, you're pulled into, oh my gosh, I'm in the story. I'm immersed into it now. So
that's fine. But I think the misconception is if it's not as good, then it's trash. Like I never said that. I'm saying Batman Year One's graphics are trash. Like period.
But you said you didn't like the story of it, right?
No, and the story wasn't that good either from what I saw. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say I watched the whole movie, but the parts that I saw didn't make me want to watch the rest of the movie. But what I will say is, if it's a step under, like I'm not gonna say it's trash. I will say that I'm not familiar with what you're talking about, but I would say Comic-Con is not bad, but it's just not as good as Your Name. Like I wouldn't call it trash. Like I think that's the misconception. Like if it's just not as good, if it's not top quality, then I'm calling it trash. No, it's like if it's trash, if I feel like it's trash, it's trash. If it's a little bit better than trash, I give it a little more credit. Like that's why we got the ratings on here, right? I would, I get a trash of 5, get something a little better, a 6 or 7. You see what I'm saying? Something a little better than that, a 8 or 9, and then the good stuff it gets to 9.5s and 10s. So it's like, but just because you're an 8.5 don't mean you trash. I just don't like it as much.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, I would just say, you can't pass judgment on just one thing that you've seen and then therefore everything else is bad because, I mean. No.
And that's, again, misconception. That's another misconception. I'm saying everything that I've been presented as far as DC, everything that has been, that I've seen DC related has been trash.
Thing about it. I would say name off to me about at least three other DC animated movies that they have.
But why they got to be animated movies though? I'm saying DC as a whole.
No, like I said, but we can just name off 3 other DC animated movies. And then I will say to you like, okay, now if you can go into those 3 other movies and I'll sit there and say, okay, you have a good point on that. But
I will go find 2 more just to prove my point to you. However, my whole point for this conversation is why are we even talking about DC animated movies? They're not in the same realm as anime.
Relevant,
why are we even talking? That's the whole point of the conversation, though. That's what I wrote down on the notes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said why are we talking about American animated movies?
Right. Well, yeah, but.
It kind of boils down
we're talking
to
about DC, but it's the same.
It does kind of boil down
to that. It's the same thing. Because like I said, I'm pretty sure I would feel the same way around Marvel movies. I'm 100% sure I will watch a newly made Marvel movie and be like, this is trash. I guarantee you. So that's why I put American on there, because I'm pretty sure I would feel the same way about either or. But like I said, I will go talk about 2. But my thing is, I just don't feel like they're in the same realm, in the same ballpark as some of the best anime out there. Like...
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen DC animated movies.
Oh, you're gonna sit down and watch it with me?
But okay.
Well, oh wow, you actually get her to watch some stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, she attacking me too. I'm gonna get attacked tomorrow.
Well, maybe I misunderstood. I thought you were talking about all.
Man.
I thought you were talking about American in general.
Okay.
And you were bringing up DC as an example.
Well, that's the last thing I saw. That's what I'm saying. The last anime I saw versus the last DC. It was happened to be a DC American made. Animation that I saw, comparing the 2, they both came out around the same time. So it's like, okay, this would be a good comparison. Now, to your point earlier, some of the older Disney animated, which there hasn't been a whole lot lately, like that is not trash animation. Do I still feel like there are animes that look way better or better in general? Maybe not way better, but better. Yes. So would I prefer to watch the better graphics? Yes. But am I saying Disney's graphics are trash? No.
Well, you don't like Disney anyway, though,
I don't
right?
like it. I don't like the movies. I don't like the content of the movies.
Right.
But I'm not going to sit here and say the animation is trash. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not.
Yeah. I just don't care for the I'm like, I just aim for children. I'm not a child.
Right.
You prefer anime.
No, I'm not a child.
Yeah, but
I don't want to watch Disney cartoons.
But they're not for children. I mean, there's a lot of people that like Disney stuff.
There's a lot of people that like it, but their target audience is children.
Okay.
So
here's the thing about it. When they first made cartoons weren't even made for kids originally. Kids just kind of adapted it, and then because they like everything.
But are Disney? So you're trying to say the Disney, specifically the Disney we're talking about, probably late '80s, mid '90s, or not is not targeting children.
So what they did. Okay, here's my thing about it.
They're targeting children.
Not only did they make it just for them too. I mean, you can say the same thing with animes too. You say they are targeted towards young boys and girls and teenagers.
But you have anime for adults. You don't have Disney movies for adults.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's the difference between American anime and American
Ninja Warrior
animation and
I like that show
and anime. I think I think one of the major differences is that American animation is usually made more for children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of adults like it too, but it is got a very,
They make it more
childlike,
family oriented.
yeah. Whereas anime,
which I don't like the Studio Ghibli stuff. That's anime.
Right.
I don't like that either.
I was gonna say anime. I feel like has way more it has such a wider. I can't even speak, like a wider genre of types of animation, and that's where I think you prefer it. I know you don't like us to say that, but
we just want to keep getting back to this anime stuff.
But I think
that's what it comes down to.
But I think
anime is better.
I think
it's better.
But that's an opinion.
No,
but I think
it's not a fact.
I think you would even agree.
So
anime is not better. So anime is not better than American made animation. You prefer, if one had to go, you would just give up all of your anime and just stick with American made animation. Come on, man.
You would because you prefer anime.
No, but anime is better.
So you prefer it.
No, I prefer higher quality entertainment.
Which in your mind is anime.
It happens to be anime.
So you then prefer anime.
Nope.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying,
y'all trying to act like Donald Trump.
No, you just said you
No.
just said you prefer higher quality stuff.
And it happens to be now.
It happens to be anime.
Now if you show me this Under the Red Hood and it blows your name out of the water, then I'm gonna be like, no, I prefer Under the Red Hood.
No, you won't.
If it's better,
That's one.
You're gonna hate on DC.
No.
I'm just saying, if it's better,
no, you won't.
Yes, I will.
That would be one video, and you've got a million anime.
Okay,
that you
then
like.
just in the individual. If we're talking about if one had to go, if your name had to go or Under the Red Hood had to go, then I would be like, your name got to go because Under the Red Hood is dope.
I believe that, but still,
now and as more and more that happens, then I could be swayed to say that American animation is better. Okay, but it's not better.
But still, at the end of the day, you prefer anime,
higher quality entertainment,
which in your mind is anime.
So let's look at it like this then. Since we got different genres and we got different stuff, I know it's apples to oranges. But a lot of the stuff that the MCU is putting out is really dope, high quality entertainment, and I prefer that over a lot of anime that I've seen.
Okay.
So that has nothing to do with me preferring anime.
No, we're talking about American animation.
I'm just saying. That's what I said. I'm changing just to give a bit. I'm just giving a different example. So it's not that I just prefer. I'm not this anime stan. It's like it's a better quality product. You show me a better quality product, I will take that and move the other to the side.
What would be your definition of high quality product?
Good graphics, good cinematography, good story, good music.
How about this?
Good at voice acting.
How about this? Let's just talk about it because I think your name qualifies as that. So y'all ready to get into round 3?
Let's do it.
Round 3.
All right, so y'all out there are probably wondering why Mike B has a different color shirt on. And how did he change so quick?
He's just a hot mess.
Mike, you ain't got nothing to say for yourself?
Oh, gotta go fast.
Okay, Sonic. Okay, so anyway, we had some technical difficulties with
Unbiased Dan.
microphone yesterday. We did a whole podcast. Luckily, we were able to salvage some of it. But round 3, the most important part, the review of the anime, was lost on her mic. So we're gonna come back and do it again today. Same. It's gonna be hard. Yeah. It's not gonna be the same.
It's not gonna be the same.
Everybody was so excited about this movie. It's not gonna be the same.
Yeah.
So new rules for today's show.
Okay.
What we talked about. Well, they're old rules now. But they're new rules to everybody listening right now. We're going to start with a new format. We're going to start off with a spoiler-free version of a review for this show. Then we're going to get into the spoilers. So we will let you know. So all you people out there that like spoiler-free information, we're going to give it to you. And then we'll let you know when the spoilers are coming.
Spoiler alert.
They're not here yet. I was just testing it out.
The button works.
So anyway, let's start off with our scores for this movie. Mike, what you got?
I had a 9.2.
9.2.
Oh, yeah.
9.5.
9.5. I got a 9.02.
Okay.
So, all great scores. I'm assuming that everybody liked the movie.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mike, did you just think it was okay, or did you really, really enjoy the movie?
I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah?
I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved it, man. It was good.
Okay, so 9.2. What do you think? Why wasn't it a 10?
Why wasn't? Oh, okay, so
what did you? You had a problem with something. It might have been slight, but you had a problem with a little something.
Everything was checking out really well,
Check.
but when it came down to it,
Check.
it was mainly story, some of the story.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. They
Mhm.
some of the character development was lacking, and there were kind of some loopholes, some holes just in general in that story. What about you?
Same. I mean, it takes a lot for me to give some, when we do our ratings, it takes a lot for me to give it a 10,
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure I gave Weathering with you a 10.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this was really, 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 really good. But I think, and I think the story was great, but there were some kind of loopholes that didn't make, some stuff that really didn't make sense,
Yeah.
So, but.
So let's talk about what we did. Like, let's voice acting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you said you watched it in
English.
Man,
Yeah.
you tripping.
Might be tripping.
Oh, I should have listened to it Japanese.
I don't know. That's what you normally do.
Man. No, but with these, that's the thing I like about with these type of films, and that kind of gives really good merit to it, is that they do have a very good voice acting crew. Usually for some animes, it's like the English voices just don't do it. I want something more authentic to the Japanese voices. But when it comes to some of these right here, like with Your Name, listening to it in English is actually really good. I prefer to hear it like that.
Yeah, I've definitely thought voice acting, but of course music.
Music was dope.
Oh yeah,
dope.
But the best thing about this was the graphics.
Oh yeah, it was very beautiful.
So we actually got, I don't know how deep I want to get into it, but the graphics were real dope, especially time lapse. I don't think I've experienced time lapse in general in anime. I definitely have not experienced to this degree. So I can give an example. There was a bridge that they showed. On top of the bridge, it was daytime going into night. The bottom of the bridge was nighttime going into day, and they just did a time lapse, and they covered probably about 10 hours worth of time in about 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It was so dope.
It was. I mean, it was beautiful. I want to go watch it again.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You want no reruns.
No, it really was. I mean, the studio, what they've done with their previous works, it seems like they're just knocking it out the park in terms of just like scenery, beauty, and so many times I'm watching this and I'm like, man, like, is that real? Or is that animated? Or
some of the buildings, the water, which we know is hard to do in a CG. I can't imagine trying to do a CG anime hybrid with water and making it look real, but they pulled it off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like so many scenes, that you see in here where I was just looking at it like, whoa, how did they pull it off? I've seen their previous movies, like the Garden of Words or so, and there was another one. Can I remember it? I don't have my notes today.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had it
all
written
his
down.
notes.
But their previous works, knocks it out the ballpark to where it caught my attention just by how attention to detail, how beautiful, like how it looks and everything. So I would suggest to people, if you want something that has really good scenery, good looks,
high quality entertainment.
High quality entertainment.
Because you probably don't remember, that's how we ended off last round 2, talking about high quality entertainment. You got you got great voice acting, you got good music, you got dope graphics. Even though it had loopholes, it got holes in the story.
It
had
a great story. Yeah.
You had good characters. Like I don't want to say great characters. So there was no like
standout, like true standout
outside of the little sister.
Yeah.
But everyone was like a consistent 8.5.
Oh yeah.
Like they weren't like a 10. Like, oh, this person is just
unbearable or
just way better than everyone else. I enjoyed them way better than everyone else except for the little sister. Which I said was probably like a 9.5. And Okudera.
Oh yeah.
She's probably a 9 point, something like that. But other than that, like all the characters didn't knock it out the park, but they were really, really up there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So even though, and again, back to the story, even though some of the stuff didn't make sense, and it's in the beginning, it took a while to get going. I felt like because it was kind of started off weird, or not weird.
Starts with a lot of confusion.
Yeah. A lot of confusion. But once it got going, I felt like I thought it was a really good story. I mean, and then there were parts where I didn't quite connect the dots. Like I didn't understand why the grandmother had like kicked the dad out, but I know we talked, it's kind of like because he didn't want to take over the shrine.
Well,
or whatever.
I think everybody realizes what's going on with the movie. We all think it's a good movie. You ready to get into the spoilers? We can talk about some of that.
Yes. I started jumping ahead.
So anybody who doesn't want to hear spoilers,
Spoiler alert.
Y'all can cut it off now. But when you cut it off, go watch one of our other
Yeah,
videos.
yeah.
Go
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to another one of our podcasts. But anyway, so now we're getting into the spoiler section. So you say you didn't really understand why the dad got kicked out of the house.
Yeah, I was a little confused about that.
So they showed that the mom died, and when we're talking about the mom, we're talking about Mitsuha.
Yeah,
We're talking about her family.
Yeah.
And so let me back it up real quick, and we'll get back to your question. Let's set the stage and tell people like what happened in this movie, or what this movie was about, how it started. So one day I woke up, and I was in your body,
Right.
and I don't know who you are. And you woke up and you were in my body, and you had no idea who I was.
Freaky Friday.
Why are you yelling though?
I'm sorry. That's
He's
what I do, man.
excited.
It's not even Friday though. But anyway,
I watched it on a Friday. Yeah.
So-
Which was weird though, because even though obviously, like in the beginning it was weird because when she woke up she was acting like it was a dude inside her body right then.
right. Well, yeah, that's what I got from it.
Yeah, but then she didn't seem like concerned about where she was. She was like, "Hey, I have boobs. Like this is weird."
So
But then she got up and was like moving around like everything was normal.
yeah, so that's the part that kind of threw me. The beginning of this movie, although it wasn't bad, it was very strange and weird and unbelievable. Not that I was going in thinking this has to be 100% believable. It's an anime I'm watching. However, if I woke up inside of a woman's body and I had no idea where I was at or who this person was, I'm not gonna go through and try to live that person's life. So that's what happened there. I woke up, I was in some girl's body, and then the sister comes in. I don't know who the sister is. I'm trying to figure out, okay, I see an outfit up there like a schoolgirl. Okay, obviously I'm in school, so I need to put that on and go to school. I kept trying to live this person's life, which made absolutely no sense.
It wasn't that believable like that. Who's going to do that?
Right.
But even aside from that, when in that very first scene when she woke up and she was acting it seemed as though it was like a guy in a girl's body by the way she was acting and
Yeah.
whatever. But then she wasn't. He wasn't in her body at that moment. Right? Cuz remember
she was.
No, because remember she went out to get her food and they were like, "Well, you seem to be back to normal. You were acting weird yesterday." And she was like, "Why? I was acting weird?"
Yeah,
I thought that
I noticed that too.
Oh, so maybe it was her back in her body, but just the previous day she was in the dude's body.
Yeah, because remember they were like, "You didn't have your hair braided or whatever yesterday."
She had her hair down.
Yeah,
and
and she was like, "What?" That's when we see
Okay.
her being all confused.
So maybe that explains it. And like I said this about Promare that I didn't like. I will say the same thing about this. The way they tried to explain what was going on was with one line randomly in the anime, and they didn't really go deep on it. So I'm not just picking on Promare. Oh, trash anime. I'm not just picking on Promare. The same thing happened here. The same thing happened here. So in Promare, where they said, "Oh, this is how ice can put out fire." Okay, and then they did the same thing here. What they said was, "I'm dreaming.
right,
I'm in a dream. I must be dreaming." So
which was like it caused even more confusion because you're like, "So is this a dream? Is this not real?"
right, and so when they showed Mitsuha inside of Taki's body, she was rushing around trying to get to work, and I got to get to work on time. And like again, I'm not if I think I'm dreaming, if I wake up and I think I'm dreaming, I'm still in a dream. I'm not gonna go to work.
Right, not gonna do anything.
I mean, I've had plenty of dreams where I was at work,
Yeah,
but no dreams where I started off at home and was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to work.
Yeah.
No, like you know
would
what?
do that?
No, who's gonna do that?
Well, I mean, for one, they already didn't know where to go. They had to rely on other people telling them where it was. I mean, that would have been a indication right there in itself. Like, okay, I'm not in my body, and and then two, something that kind of threw me off constantly was the fact that constantly they had got to a point eventually in the movie in the first half where they would go back and forth and they realized they were in each other's bodies communicating with each other.
Right. So they used a diary.
yeah, like a journal.
So on their phones,
Yeah.
they would just write in a diary and send notes to each other.
And I really think, I think the music played such a huge role in this because when that was happening and they were playing the music and it was showing the entries and I don't know, it just did something for the story. I was just like,
you know what? And that's one thing I always like to mention when it comes to animation is that music is such an important part because it can move the narrative and it can like, set the mood so well.
It's funny because it's a guy that usually sits in that seat too sometimes, and he specifically told me one time.
Music doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because there's plenty of movies that come out with no music or no sound in them. I said plenty of movies. Really?
Like one.
Wow.
Terrence, shout out.
Oh. Well,
so get out of here.
Well,
no,
see,
music is really important.
Here's the thing about it. Like, when it comes to the score,
especially because music make you lose control.
Oh, music
make you lose control.
I don't know if I'm doing it right, but but when it comes to
you did it left, it's okay.
Okay, but when it comes to like the scores and like music and stuff, like they had a Japanese composer. I forgot what he's. I believe he's from the band, and he personally did music for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, is that when it comes to like the music and how they use it in the right tone, because I've seen so many movies animations where they don't have the right kind of music, it's not feeling right in it.
I think we had a conversation about this when they start on the English dub for some Dragon Ball Z movies. They started using Slipknot and some more popular U.S. bands at the time, and it just didn't fit.
Yeah, it's like, some moments like, oh, okay, I can get down with this, but then another one is like, wait a minute, like I would have used a different choice or.
Well, even we were watching that preview that it was a trailer for some sports game. I think it was NFL or whatever. Remember? And I was like, this music doesn't go with this game because it was like somebody had made it.
Well, we're going to talk about it more one day on a show with Mike B. But the Outcast that was in the Suicide Squad video game trailer didn't really match.
It didn't.
The song
match.
is dope.
Yeah.
But it didn't really match the trailer.
No, but it's one of those songs where you're just like, whatevs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's such a good song.
Yeah, exactly. You can get by just on that alone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this had dope music. So, the other part that was kind of weird to me, again, we talked about them communicating with each other through the diaries of their phone. This is what I did yesterday. This is where you're supposed to be tomorrow. I made you a date, or so-and-so said this. You're supposed to, bring that. And so this went on for a while. However, at no point did they, like, say, hey, my number's 5555555.
Right, call me.
Call
so we
me.
can figure out what is going on.
And let's meet up, or let's do something, let's figure this out. No, they just kept like, okay, I'm going to just keep living your life.
Which, and that's, I know you probably figured it out too, like after a while, but, because it's like, why didn't they trade numbers? It's like, I was like, okay, is it for the sake of the narrative or for what? But, that kept throwing me off. It's like.
And then I feel like later on in the movie, they did try to call each other. And they kept saying the number didn't work.
Oh,
yeah.
And more than likely, the number didn't work. So I'm skipping ahead here in the story. But somewhere before they told us all of this, I figured out that these people were just in different time.
Right.
Different times.
Oh, yeah.
Same universe, different times. So I thought it was a bit further back. I thought she could have been in the 80s, 70s, or even way back in the feudal era because of the style of their houses. And obviously, he was in the big city. He lived in Tokyo. She lived off in a rural part of the mountains.
And I didn't pick up on that at all. So it was like definitely a surprise to me when he came to the town. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You were just watching it,
and they were like, that town, blew up.
And then when they did that, you gave the slow clap, and you were like,
Awesome.
No, but I was like, oh, what?
Is that same Perrier from yesterday?
Maybe.
Maybe. So yeah, so that was the part that made me score this just a little bit lower. It does get a lot better after that. Now, what I will say about this, here's the important part. There was a lot of character development for the main two characters. And so I said that I dinged it a little bit because they didn't really develop other characters. They did a lot with the main two characters, and I really liked the way they did it. They didn't just show Mitsuha walking around in her normal life, and this is who I am, and this is what I do. No, they showed Taki inside of Mitsuha's body, figuring out who she was, where she was supposed to be, who her friends were, who her dad was. So that kind of gets back to the question that you had. So at some point, Mitsuha's mom died, and they were over a shrine. And apparently, per the customs of their family, he was now supposed to take over the shrine, but he's more like a businessman, politician. And she said, well, you got to go. You got to get out of here. You can't stay here. And dishonoring our family name. So he went on and kept doing politics. He ended up being the mayor of the town.
Yeah, it was weird, though. He, moved out. Like
You got that. Now he ain't moved out. He got kicked out.
Yeah.
Old lady was gonna get that broom to the back of his neck.
For real.
You know, you ain't look. You ain't got to go home.
But you can't stay here.
But you got to get the hell out of here. You know. So and they did the same thing for Taki when Mitsuha was in his body, figuring out who he was. Why do I have the scar on my face and this bandage? Figuring out, he's kind of like a scrapper, a fighter, or he has a quick tongue, or quick to tell somebody off or whatever, getting into trouble. So it was cool to develop that character in that weird, unique way. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
Like usually it might be, I figure out who Mike B is, I figure out who I'm saying is, and then they switch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but this was the opposite.
Switch first, yeah.
Switch first, and then
with a twist.
Yeah, then develop the character. So that was like super dope.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, the one thing that I did like is the fact that, as we talked about, they were from different time periods, and with the whole explanation, what they're using, from the very beginning of it, they were talking about the whole. They were showing like the little red thread of fate or type deal where one thread is connected from the pinky to the other one. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I'm not. Right, we don't connect me though.
Hey, man.
You connect to this hardware, like Lane.
My only love is computers.
You Lane.
But,
Siri experiments, Mike.
Oh my gosh! Just imagine that alien just sitting right there by the door. But anyway,
with the sweater on.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what? But anyway, it was like the grandmother was talking about how, about like threads and time and everything. She, giving some philosophical type stuff, which, it will just pass you over your head like, oh, okay, that's just what old people do.
Yeah.
But they were kind of explaining, it's like, okay, this is how the timelines are kind of.
So when the grandma speaks, pay attention. Because she did explain everything that happens after that, where it took that weird anime dive. We all know how animes do. It's like normal, as normal as it can be, right? Two people switching bodies, but it was just normal every day. I'm going to work, I'm going to school, I'm serving pizza, I'm going on dates, right?
And then all
of a sudden it just gets weird. The grandma tells you everything you need to know. However, they don't pinpoint. They don't spotlight her and be like, "Hey, this is some profound knowledge she's giving you that's going to change the rest of this movie." Like they don't do that. It's just like, oh, like Mike said, like, oh, it's just an old lady talking. You'll
kind of get caught into the scenery. If you're really not paying attention, you'll be sitting there like while she's talking, it feels really nice listening to her talk, but you're looking like, oh, that's some nice scenery. I like those trees and everything and the mountains and
then that big lake.
And then the next thing you know, you crunching on some chips, so you miss a couple of other words here or there, and now you don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it did get weird because I got a little confused when like he drank that fermented.
I drank in my two-step. I drank in my.
Yeah. And then they ended up in like the same place, but it was like, how are they in the same place?
Yeah. So, I think Mike, you said it could have been 20, 30 years. You thought it might've been apart. I'm thinking that or more. It turns out they were only 3 years apart as far as where he was in the timeline and where she was. Basically he was, there was a comet that was coming through and a piece of the comet broke off and destroyed the town that she was in. He was living post comet, she was living pre comet,
right?
So that's what happened. So
but what's weird is like the whole time that she's it's really him in her body, but she's running around the town trying to get everybody to like go to the school or whatever, right?
Oh well, you jumped way ahead, but yeah.
Well, I mean the other part I just mentioned was like at the end.
What, the drinking and two-step?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
now I'm going back. But
well, yeah. Let's get to the drink. So basically, he tries to go find her, like he should have done in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
And then his colleagues go with him.
But an hour later, he was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to go find her. So he rounds up his a couple of friends. One chick, which is Miss Okudera, who was trying to date him, even though she was old. Okay, whatever.
She was a college student.
Man,
she's not old.
That was an old lady. I was a grown woman.
She's
put
just
it that
a couple
way.
years older than him.
Yeah,
that was a grown woman.
They established to him, it's like you don't call her Okudera, you call her Miss Okudera,
like a teacher or something.
Yeah, like
so this is inappropriate relation. Anyway, so they go with him on this wild goose chase to go find this girl.
Yeah,
and it's like I gotta find her. Turns out that she's in the mountains, and the mountains is not too far away. So they go try to figure out. Once he gets there, that's when you get your I guess your second, outside of them switching, you get your second like big moment where basically he finds out that she's dead.
But you know what? Props to him being a good artist, because did you notice he drew? Mm-hmm. He actually drew the scenery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which,
yeah.
I mean, makes sense. I mean, you should be able to remember your way around town, you know?
Yeah.
And what stuff looks like and where stuff is at. So
But most people can't draw that good.
no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, that's convenience.
So while he's looking for her, he finds out that she's dead, and she died by that piece of that comet coming and destroying that whole town. It killed 500 people. And that's the other part where it's like happy-go-lucky, and then all of a sudden dark. 500 people are dead. And he searches and finds records, and there she is. There's her name. She's dead.
Yep.
So at that point, now back to what you were saying, they're trying to find each other in the timelines. And that's when it got like even more weird, because we weren't paying attention to the old lady.
Well,
Yeah.
what kind of confused me when I looked back is, so he's in her body. She's trying to get everybody to get to the high school. I guess it's supposed to be a safe point or something. Maybe the high school wasn't destroyed.
It was outside of the disaster zone.
Right. So they're trying to get everybody to the high school. And maybe I'm not remembering correctly, but I got a little confused because in that moment he was in her body. But then all of a sudden, over here in this other timeline, he drinks that stuff, and then somehow they end up together, but she's her. Mm-hmm. So it's like, what?
Did they actually show what she was doing at that time? Because I know they, unless I just can't remember, I do know he drank the drink. He was back in her body, and he was and then like you said, trying to get everybody, Well,
they ain't really. I don't think they really showed. But then all of a sudden, they were in the same place. I think they did show. Like both of them were going to that spot at the same time, just in the different time periods.
Okay.
And then they were talking to each other, but they couldn't see each other.
Right. It's just weird that like it just kind of when I look back, I'm like, wait, how did that happen? Okay.
So the whole plan to save the town. So then it's like, well, I could just save her from dying. That would be all wrong in Star Trek. You can't do that.
Right.
The prime directive, the temporal prime directive. You can't break that, right?
Yeah,
so, but he was like, I'm breaking it, right?
Yeah.
So they're trying to save. So their master plan was, I understood the plan. I didn't know they were gonna start blowing stuff up.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it was one of those. I think I put one too many explosives.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to fake a fire. I thought they were going to fake an emergency. They were going to get on the PA system for the local high school, which was connected to the whole town. Because it's a small town, get everyone, like you said, to the high school. Emergency, get to the high school that was outside of the impact area. They tried to get Mitsuha's dad to help because he's the mayor. He's like, you crazy, get out of here.
Yeah.
Like, you're a crazy person.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, like the power plant blew up, and it was just like, whoa.
Which that was a real big explosion.
And that still didn't really get everybody going, which was weird. My thing is, Mitsuha, as long as you good, all these other people, whatever. Yeah, we told them to get out of here.
Yeah, that was weird. Nobody was paying any attention.
Well, see, and that's the kind of thing that kind of got me, where I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you already have somebody on the intercom
telling you there's an emergency.
There's an emergency.
Yeah.
Then you see a big explosion off in the distance.
Yeah.
Fire. And everybody's still kind of like, okay, let's take our time.
Yeah, whatevs.
That kind of took me out of it, where I was like, no, if that were to happen, I would start running.
Well, at a certain point, the mayor did get on and say this was all a hoax. Don't worry about it. There's nothing going on.
You know what?
But still,
you would still
you
think people
you can still see the fire up in the mountains.
Yeah.
I could understand the people in the homes, kind of like, okay, they can't see that. Therefore, they're like, okay, what's going on? What's happening? But then, like, the people at the festival, I feel like they should have been the main ones trying to evacuate after they've seen such a disaster. I mean, just to be real about it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but I think they did that just to make it work for the plot of the story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so it can.
You would still think people at first would be like, what?
Oh, explosion.
Like, what's happening?
Oh, we see that all the time. Huh.
Yeah.
So, what about the end? We talked about this with Weathering with You as well. There was a part in Weathering with You where you thought that the main character was about to die. and I was gonna be okay with that.
No.
And
I was fine with that.
No.
You know what? In all honesty, I thought she was gonna die. I was
Oh,
watching.
in this one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Well, I didn't think she was gonna die.
I was scared they weren't gonna find each other.
Right, there we go.
So I'm so glad they did.
No, you want me to tell you something so messed up? So I kept sitting there saying to myself, they're just gonna bring up the credits, just like everything goes wrong, comedy hits, everybody dies. Here's the credits. Oh, hope you liked it. You know, try next time. But I was like, and then too, it didn't help that I had a friend of mine that was watching it with me, sitting there saying, "This movie is cruel, man." So I was sitting there like, what?
I would be so sad. I would be so sad if they wouldn't have met.
Oh,
I would have been just fine with that.
I didn't. I mean,
it was like wrestling. They did like a false finish.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, they're not gonna meet. They passed by each other multiple times. So basically, at this point, she's still alive, but they don't remember each other.
right.
And I think that was one of the most impactful moments of the movie when they were like, hey, I'm going to write your name.
Mm-hmm.
Let's write on a hand so you will remember who I am, and then we can find each other after I don't get hit by this comment.
Oh yeah.
But then as soon as she went to write her name in his hand, she disappeared.
Which that was a strong, impactful moment right there.
Instant transmission. It's just super speed.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't think I've ever had a more impactful moment in an anime where somebody just disappeared. There's always people disappearing in anime.
Yeah,
That's
I was
pretty
like,
normal.
No.
I mean, I think the music was playing, and I think it was kind of like light as far as the background, and then when it dropped and it stopped, it was like dark and no music.
And then it was sad because then, like, wherever she was, she saw in her hand that he wrote, "I love you" or something. What was that? And it was,
which is not helpful.
Yeah, she goes, "That's not helpful."
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's like you're supposed to write your name, fool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's and it was so much. It was so impactful just because, like you said, he was trying to remember her. Like he knew her, but then it's like kind of like the same thing what happened with his cell phone earlier on.
Everything started to erase.
It started getting erased, and he was like, "Wait a minute, why am I here? Why am I doing this?" And it's so tragic because they're building a relationship. Two people from two different timelines and far away from each other are building a relationship, and they feel so close while connected to the thread of fate. But it's like you just instantly lose all of that at one point, and you're like, "Who is this? Why am I doing this?" That hurts so much. Can you imagine that? Like, you have somebody that you care about so much, and then boom, they just don't exist, but you still have the feeling of, it's there, something was there. That got me.
So then towards the end, they fast forward a couple years, she's not killed by the comment, but he doesn't know. They're looking for each other, but he doesn't know
that he's looking for her.
That he's looking for her. He doesn't know what he's looking for at this point. That's how
he knows like something's missing, but he doesn't know what it is.
And so that's how much of deletion or omission happened. It was like I don't even know. For all he know, he could have been looking for a dude.
Yeah,
he could have been looking for a dog. He could have been looking for his favorite stuffed animal. Like he doesn't know what he was looking for.
That's true.
And the person he was looking for, they crossed paths many a times, but
they don't truly know each other though.
Yeah.
And that's what kept getting me. I was like, oh, they're gonna actually see each other and be like, hey, I know you, but
yeah.
I would have been good. I would have been good if it just turned off.
I was just waiting for that second comment just to another piece broke off.
A second comment. Yeah. So let's talk about Weathering with You.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So which one did you like better? This one or Weathering with You?
I like the story of this one better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I mean, here's the thing, but I would say Weathering with You was better, but I like this one more though, just because of the story, I would say. Yeah,
so the graphics were better in Weathering with You. It's a little bit newer. It had a bigger budget because it had name brand stuff floating around in there. The story wasn't as good with Weathering with You, but it didn't have as many holes as this one did. I do enjoy this story better, but it has a lot of holes. So what about you?
I pretty much agree with everything you just said.
There's somebody in the office with us in the studio, and we're trying to get his attention. Hey.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you just said.
So let's talk about it. So where it's not actually a prequel, it's not a prequel. It's in the same universe as Your Name.
Oh yeah. You know what? That's one of the reasons why I actually bought, the other movies, because I did see that it was in the same universe.
So 2 of the main characters from Weathering with You was actually in. I'm sorry, the 2 main characters from Your Name was actually in Weathering with You.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
So now you got to go back and watch
Absolutely
it.
Now I got to go back and watch it. Yeah, I want to watch them both again.
Now, don't get me wrong. It wasn't anything
Not main characters.
major, no.
Yeah.
But they made a cameo appearance.
It's like, so if you were that's good that if you were a fan that you can actually go and look at it and say, oh my gosh, like I've seen that movie, like especially if you have an attachment to it, just makes you love the next movie even more.
Easter eggs.
Yeah, Easter eggs. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So fully, highly recommend Weathering with You and Your Name. Just to go over the scores one more time, we got a 9.2,
9.2,
9.5, and a 9.02.
all in the nines.
All in the nines.
I mean, that's very close. All that means is like that we were like 1 point off on a few of the things.
Y'all know I critique hard.
Yeah.
Even on a great movie like this, you know what I'm saying? So you give me a bad movie, ooh, you know what I'm saying? Ooh,
You know,
boy, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I hope this was still entertaining, even though we kind of rushed through it. We went into more detail yesterday, but again, all that audio was lost. But I still think we hit our main points of the anime and what happened and what we liked about it, what we didn't like about it. Go watch it. Go buy it.
Oh,
Absolutely.
for real. Go
buy
watch
it.
it.
They just released it on a steel case. That's what I got it.
Well,
from
and-
Best Buy. Go pick it up. I'll try to put a link down in the description.
And I think this is a very good point. We did mention this yesterday that if you are trying to get somebody into anime,
Yes.
this is a perfect starter.
Don't watch
Absolutely.
Promare. Do not watch Promare.
Same.
Hey, don't watch that.
Do not.
Do not, because they will not. They're gonna be like,
They're gonna be lost. For real lost.
Mm.
So anyway,
That's advanced level right there.
yeah, that's
Oh, yeah,
that.
you got to have a high power level for that one.
Yeah.
Over 9,000.
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all ready to wrap up the show?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So this is our wrap up screen. I'm gonna upgrade this stuff one day. I don't know when, because since we got to do 2 shows for every show now, because of technical difficulties.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
gonna have time to upgrade this. But anyway, let's do the social media thing real quick. Follow us at ANX Gamecast on all social media outlets and wherever you get your favorite podcasts. Speaking of your favorite podcast, this podcast, the one you just listened to. If you want to see Mike change shirts, not on camera, and drink Perrier, sip Perrier, yeah.
Hey.
YouTube, check us out. There's a video version of this podcast under AVersion TV. Go there, like some of the videos, give us a follow, subscribe, whatever it's called on there, and hit the notification bell so you can get all of the updates.
Oh, yeah.
That's it for today, guys. Join us next week where we will discuss the next Pokemon Go Community Day. See you next time.
I don't remember what I said yesterday.
What's your name?